Hello guys, it's Chemaster. Time to do another BakuTech review. This time it is on Falco. One of the first BakuTech, the first event is BakuTech. So there's that. Pretty nice looking. Got the two cross pieces as one falls off, and that is something I'm able to get to with this thing in a minute here. But yeah, these cross pieces are not the most stable. Probably see that when I open it, but anyway. So yeah, there's a look at the outside. Going to open it up now. As you can see, another one just fell off. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue with this thing. It's not... I guess I'll just wait to explain it, but anyway. It's not just an issue with mine either, but yeah. So anyway, we do have the manual parts as well. We have these on the wings that come out. Yeah, this thing just doesn't stay, and I'm just going to open these up before I put that back on. And then there's these upper wings. So yeah, there's 4 different manual parts here, and this one's a little bit stiff, but there we go. Before I show the, or get that back in, here's the G power, which is 510. So pretty weak. It is an early BakuTech, and that is to be expected. So let me put this back in, and let's give it a 360 view. So here is what it looks like. Here's the back, which actually looks really cool. And this thing does look cool. I gotta give it credit here. So yeah, focus is a little bit awkward because it's kind of a longer BakuTech, at least a little bit. And yeah, it's just kind of awkward. But anyway, yeah, looks cool. But yeah, we look into the one issue of this thing, and that is the cross pieces. They don't stay in very well. It's really bad on the original mold. This is actually the updated mold, but yeah, the original mold, the kind of cross pieces, like the rubber part that holds them in, is a lot more exposed. It's better on these revised molds, but yeah, even so, the revised molds still aren't the best. Actually, my Battle Master set version of this thing is like this as well. Not quite as bad, but still, cross pieces fall off very easily. These ones just barely stay on. Luckily, my hybrid deck one actually functions, but I have seen other people have this issue. It is definitely a problem with Falco, unfortunately. Its cross pieces just don't stay on very well. Probably because these pieces are just very small in general, and plus these things are old, so yeah, the rubber is going to naturally, wear a bit over time, and with these things already being relatively unstable to begin with, just a little bit of extra wear, yeah, these things are not going to be working too well. Which is unfortunate, but yeah. Overall, though, pretty basic Bakugan. This thing already wants to come out just sitting there. But yeah, I do like this view a lot. So, what do I think of this thing? Personal score, I'm going to be giving it a 7 out of 10. I actually like this thing quite a bit. Especially for an earlier BakuTech, I think it's good. I actually think that the cross piece thing kind of affects my score a little bit. I just find that really annoying. It's definitely a design flaw that is not just with mine. It's a pretty widespread one. Not all of them are like this, but it's still a lot of them. And, yeah, it's not good. It still does look very cool, though. I like the design. Also, I like the coloring on this thing. So, yeah. And now we get to have some fun because it's time for the competitive talk. So, how good is this thing? 3 out of 10. It's not very good. So, I know some people might say it's a little bit of a low score, but let me explain. So, what does this thing really do? Nothing. For attack, there's nothing that really opens up to be, that strong. None of the springs here are overly strong. I guess like the tail, but that's not going to do a whole lot. I mean, yeah, the 2 cross pieces, that's not like a ton of weight either. I mean, defensively, this thing... That one just fell off, okay. defensively, this thing, I guess, is, like, okay, but it's not, like, doing a whole lot either. I mean, like, I guess these wings maybe help, and, like, the back at the tail that can, like, help. If you take a hit from, like, I don't know, like, the wings or something, it's gonna fly off. It's, like, okay defensively, but not great. Occupancy, okay, this thing's not bad for occupancy, I guess. It's, like, a decent size when you look at it from, like, center card. It's, like, okay, as that crosspiece falls off. I mean, like, it does, like, enough, but it's not good either, you know? It's just kind of, it's like, yeah, it occupies a decent bit of the card. I guess this back piece can block a little bit, but it's like, if you get hit from, like, the crosspiece area, like, you're probably getting thrown off the card, so it's like, you know, it's not really helping you a ton, and this thing's just not staying on at all. And outside of that, though, like, I guess you can get some trick shots with this thing, especially with how it opens up because of the tail. This tail is, as I mentioned, it's pretty strong, and the idea is that when it opens, it's supposed to actually smack the card and jump. That's just staying off. I'm not messing with that more. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just leaving that off because it won't stay on. Anyways, though, so that jump idea, does it do anything? It does. So it can actually open up on one card and jump to the next if there is an adjacent card. That's cool, but it doesn't do a ton either. You don't do a ton even if it's there. Like, yeah, you could open up on one card and jump to the next, but it's like, I mean, it doesn't do a ton. I guess it can help you in certain scenarios. Maybe there's something where you want to get to the next card, but maybe it's like a difficult shot. This can maybe help you, but it's like, it's such a niche scenario, in my opinion, to why you'd want to jump to the next card. It's like cool for trick shots and stuff, but yeah, it's not doing a whole lot in battle. This thing just doesn't do a lot in battle. Like, it's still okay. Again, you have some occupancy, a little bit of defense, a little bit of attack. I guess you have some cool, you know, rolling techniques as well, with the jumping thing included. I mean, it's like kind of cool, but really it's just not doing a whole lot overall. It just exists and is not great. There are far better things out there if you want a jumping Bakugan. I mean, there's the Sky Raiders, but we're not going to get into those. But I mean, you have things like Nino de Shao, which can technically jump to another card because of how strong that thing is, but I guess it's like a 50-50 shot with how the magnet is. But you know, even for Ventus, though, even for Ventus, which is a very underrepresented attribute, there's only 6 Bakugan, and if you're counting, you know, the Ventus Garyu, or I guess Go Garyu if you're making the correct, you know, stock version of it, and even if you count armors with, like, Shippuden, it's like, there's 8 total. I mean, LeShao Falco is like this, but better, basically. Pretty much, anyway. Tri-Falco is pretty solid. I'd say, you know, Kalukin's way better for control and stuff. That's more useful, in my opinion, compared to this thing. Yeah, I mean, Nino de Shao, Tri-Falco, Kalukin, LeShao Falco, all of those are just better options. Like, what else is there for this thing, you know? There's just not really a lot. And then there's also Windmill, which is actually a pretty crazy attack type. I don't know how I just almost forgot. Yeah, Windmill's a pretty good attacker. And plus, you have, like, Shippuden for, like, a G-power stuff if you want to go that route. Everything else has somewhat of a place, in my opinion. And this thing just really falls off because of that. So, yeah. That's why I don't think it's very good, even in its, like, very underrepresented type, or attribute, I guess. But, when you look at BakuTech as a whole, outside of just Ventus, yeah, this thing just falls off even harder. So, that's Van Falco for you. That's everything I have to say. Probably went a little bit too long, but yeah, it's all good. Anyway, that's all for this video. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.